On the tech trends that full stack developers need to know for 2025.
Yeah, we've looked at a whole bunch of analysis, front end, back end, AI, the works.
Right. And the goal here is to give you a clear roadmap, cut through all that noise, and highlight what's really critical.
Exactly. Because the role itself, what full stack even means, is shifting. We want to help you navigate that.
Okay, let's dig in. So traditionally, it was JavaScript on the front, maybe PHP or Python on the back. Simple enough.
Then cloud came along, AWS, Azure, GCP, and suddenly that was table stakes.
And now, since late 2022, it's AI. Everywhere. How's that changing the game?
Well, it's less about just building features now. The expectation for 2025 is more towards building, intelligent systems.
So not just using AI tools to code faster, but baking AI into the apps.
Precisely. That's the big leap.
All right, let's talk front-end specifics. HTML, CSS, the foundations are still key, right? Understanding Flexbox, Grid, even with frameworks.
Oh, absolutely. Core CSS knowledge is vital. And JavaScript, of course, still dominates, over 60% usage?
Yeah, something like 62%, according to Stack Overflow last year. But TypeScript's really climbing.
It really is. It catches errors early, makes things more maintainable. A lot of the modern frameworks basically demand it now. Huge adoption, especially among pros.
Speaking of frameworks, React is still king.
Pretty much. Huge usage, massive ecosystem, especially common if you're pairing it with, say, a C# backend and Next.js on top for server-side rendering.
But then you've got Angular, where the enterprise choice, very structured.
Right. Very opinionated TypeScript from the get-go. And Vue.js is often seen as maybe more approachable. Good documentation.
So if you had to pick one takeaway for the front end.
Deep JavaScript and TypeScript understanding. That's your foundation for adapting. React gives you a market edge now, but being solid in any of the big three is good.
Okay, moving to the back end. Lots of choices here. Node.js lets you use JavaScript everywhere.
Yeah, great for real-time stuff, but Python's massive too. Not just for web with Django or Flask, but dominant in data science, AML stuff.
True. Then the enterprise staples. Java with Spring Boot, C# with .NET Core.
Still very relevant. And don't forget Go. It's growing fast, especially for performance-critical things, cloud-native apps, microservices.
Right, things like Docker and Kubernetes are written in Go, aren't they?
Exactly. And then there's still PHP powering a huge chunk of the web thanks to WordPress and Laravel.
Yeah.
And Ruby on Rails, though less common now, still known for productivity.
And architecture matters too, right? Microservices versus serverless.
Definitely. Microservices often favor Go or Java for performance. Serverless functions. Node.js and Python are super popular there. It's about picking the right tool for the job and maybe the industry you're targeting.
Okay, data storage. SQL is still huge. PostgreSQL seems to be really taking over.
Yeah, it's now the most used, actually surpassing MySQL in recent surveys. Very robust.
MySQL's still everywhere, though. And Swally for lighter things.
True. And on the NoSQL side, MongoDB is the big one for document databases, flexible schemas. Redis is essential for caching.
So focus on PostgreSQL.
That seems like the smart strategic move, yeah. Get really good at Postgres.
How do we connect the front and back ends? APIs. REST has been the standard.
For ages, yeah. Resource-based, uses standard HTTP methods. Works well, but sometimes you fetch too much data, or not enough.
Which is where GraphQL comes in.
Exactly. It's a query language, lets the client ask for exactly what it needs, solves that over-under fetching problem, growing super fast.
But maybe a steeper learning curve.
A bit, yeah. And caching can be more complex than with REST. But for complex apps, mobile, microservices, it's often a better fit. You probably need to understand both these days.
Makes sense. Now the cloud. You said it's table stakes, AWS, Azure, GCP.
Absolutely essential. You're not just a coder anymore, you're kind of a cloud architect too. AWS is the leader, huge market share, tons of services.
Azure's big in the Microsoft world, growing fast.
Yep. And GCP is strong in data, machine learning, Kubernetes. Very developer-friendly feel sometimes.
So what do you need to know? Compute, storage, networking.
Those basics, yes. Plus identity management and definitely infrastructure as code tools like Terraform or CloudFormation. Hands-on experience is key. Maybe even a cert.
Okay, bridging dev and ops. DevOps,
Right.
Git is just required.
Non-negotiable. No Git. Use platforms like GitHub or GitLab.
And containers, Docker.
Hugely important. Packages your app and its dependencies together. Consistency everywhere. Used by, nearly 60% of pros.
And managing those containers at scale. Kubernetes Kades.
The standard for orchestration. Deploying, scaling, load balancing. You need to grasp the concepts. pods, services, deployments. All clouds offer managed K8s now.
Plus CI/CD for automation.
Yeah.
Jenkins, GitLab CI, GitHub Actions.
Right. Continuous integration, continuous delivery or deployment. Automating builds, tests, deployments. Docker and K8s fit right into this. It speeds everything up.
All right, the big one, maybe AI and machine learning integration. We said it's more than just using Copilot.
Way more. We're talking about actually building AI features into applications. Using LLM APIs like GPT-4, understanding prompt engineering, designing AI workflows.
The skills like knowing AI fundamentals, working with cloud AI services.
Yes, and maybe some familiarity with frameworks like TensorFlow or PyTorch, even TensorFlow.js for the front end. Thinking about the specifics of AI like context windows, RAG, guardrails.
High demand for that.
Huge demand. It's about implementing AI, not just talking about it.
Can't forget quality, testing, unit integration end-to-end.
Crucial. Jest is dominant for JavaScript testing. For E2E, Cypress has been the go-to, but Playwright from Microsoft is gaining serious ground.
What's the trend there?
Definitely a move towards more robust, reliable E2E testing with tools like Cypress and Playwright, testing the actual user flows thoroughly.
Last piece, security. It has to be built in from the start.
Absolutely critical, especially API security.
Yeah.
Know the OWASP COP10 vulnerabilities injection, broken access control, things like that.
Authentication,
Yeah.
JWT, OSHA.
Yep. JWT for stateless sessions, OAuth 2.0, and OpenID Connect for authorization and identity, strong password hashing, MFA.
And authorization, what users can do once they're logged in.
Exactly. Role-based access control, attribute-based access control, always enforce it on the server side. Input validation is huge, HTTPS everywhere, managing dependencies for known vulnerabilities. It's a mindset.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, the 2025 full stack dev needs a really broad but also deep skill set, blending the fundamentals with cloud, DevOps, and now, seriously, AI.
It's a lot, but it's also exciting. The key is solid basics, mastering those core techs we mentioned, definitely embracing cloud and DevOps.
Exploring things like GraphQL, modern testing, and getting your hands dirty with AI implementation. Build stuff, show it off.
Absolutely. Continuous learning isn't just a buzzword, it's survival. Adaptability is everything.
So for you, the learner, listening in, what part of this landscape sparked your curiosity most? Maybe AI integration, or diving deeper into cloud architecture, whatever it is. Dig into